What's up, everyone? My name is Steve from Supermods Tech, and today I'm going to be working on a keyboard body replacement. A1502 13-inch Macbook Pro. So what I'm going to do today is I just bought this assembly here, and the keyboard assembly is no good on this unit here. So what I'm going to do is basically scrap all the parts out of this one and move it over to the new body, put it back together, and get the computer working again. So to me, it's easier to buy the keyboard like this, because the way the keyboard is designed on these is a bunch of aluminum rivets. So basically, when you're pulling the keyboard off, a lot of the rivets get stuck. And when you're trying to reassemble the keyboard, it's a pain in the ass. Now, don't get me wrong, it definitely can be done, but sometimes the rivets make your job a lot harder. You can't, the keyboard doesn't sit properly. Some of the rivets are loose. And when you press the key sinks down. So for me, this is easier. You charge the customer. It ain't gonna cost you nothing unless you're restoring the device for you to sell it or something. It's pretty much easier to buy it like this, and you just swap the parts over and call it a day. You got to scrap it down anyway to change this, so might as well. The hardest thing is taking the battery out, but that's not that hard. So we'll go ahead and get started so that we can see properly. Here we go. And I'm gonna get all my tools ready here, get everything out the screen, and we'll get started. So I already have the bottom cover removed because I was doing some diagnostics testing this out. I already got the keyboard cable disconnected. Customer knows that the LCD is technically bad because this ribbon is broken. He doesn't want to fix it at this time, so we'll go ahead and bypass that. You won't worry about that at this moment. And I will position this camera a little bit more to the table so you guys can see, so I don't have to stretch too far away for you guys to see what's going on. So now what I would like to do is I will go ahead and pull everything apart. Technically, I got to take the battery out, take the trackpad apart. So there's a bunch of things that need to be done. It's not like a simple 1, 2, 3, hit a slam and home run and you're finished. It's a little more than that. So I'll go ahead and unplug all these parts. This LCD cable is a little bit shaky, so I've got to be very cautious taking it out so that we can reuse it for the future. And I'm going to go ahead and start scrapping everything. So right now, I'm basically taking apart the ribbon cable that comes from the HDMI board over to the logic board. So we're just going to get everything unplugged, scrapped out. We're going to remove the logic board from the unit. Then we're going to remove the display panel. And then we're going to remove the battery. You want to work as easy as possible when you're working on these units. You don't want to work too hard because, believe me, these retinas, the way Apple designed the new retinas, is not that simple to work on. As you know, for the new units, 2018 and up, Apple doesn't even want us to touch the units anymore because basically, everything is gonna be everything has to be matching, I should say. So you can no longer swap a display panel from one Mac to the other like we traditionally do to fix somebody's computer. It's not gonna work. Everything is programmed to that computer, and if you don't have the tools or the Apple, you don't have access to the Apple diagnostic software, you will not be able to swap parts to reprogram it so the computer will work. So Apple is really smart in eliminating tech companies from working on their stuff. And basically what that does, it also affects tech companies from selling their parts. So, a lot of people sell secondhand parts, which I don't see anything wrong with it. It's used. Apple doesn't support it anymore. you know, instead of turning it into junk, you know, you fix it and resell it. Now with this new technology that they're using, you know, the device will pretty much become trash. So in a way, I find that not to be fair, you know, as far as, you know, if the device is old, you know, the customer should be able to swap parts, do whatever they want to do with the device. It's their device. They paid for it. They paid thousands of dollars for it. It shouldn't be a problem at all, in my opinion. But, you know, Apple is the trillion-dollar company. They will go ahead and do as they please, and we cannot do anything to stop them. So in a few years, I won't be fixing Macs anymore. I'll probably be fixing Windows laptops for a living. But it's okay. It's still a job. You know, it's not the end of the world. I could still work on the logic boards. That's fine. So, yeah, that's Apple's model. So, here's what it is. What are we going to do about it? Absolutely nothing. The Right to Repair Act has been partially granted by Apple, but you have to become Apple certified, and you have to buy Apple tools, and you have to buy everything Apple, which basically gives control. And once they have control of your life, you can't do anything with your life because you won't be able to buy anything from Apple because it's so expensive. And on the other user end, the customer won't even want to pay us because we're not Apple. Even if we tell them we're getting original Apple parts, it's not going to fly with them. So, it is what it is. We just have to live life and move on. Nothing we can do about it. So I have my trusty iFixit kit here. I keep this kit in handy just because of miscellaneous different types of screws. I can't stand the bit drivers really much because they're so easy to get lost. So I only pull this out if I'm going to pull a computer apart or pull something apart. Then I put it right back because these things, they get lost and, you know, it's a nightmare. So remove the HDMI board. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the speakers. So we're going to take the speakers out of the unit. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the battery, and then we can go ahead and remove the trackpad. And then from there we could go ahead and reassemble this Mac. Got the other speaker out. I think we also have to put the mic in. I gotta double check because I know there's a little part for, I think this is the microphone down here. So I gotta double check and see if that's in there because it's not in there. So I'm gonna have to remove that as well and get it over. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to get my, it's running out. My CRC cleaner is running out, so I need to get some, but I use this to remove the batteries out. I do have a video on that. I will link that in the description here so you guys can go check that out. It makes taking out the battery a lot easier than what you would usually have to go through of prying and spraying, because what this kind of does, it loosens up the adhesive. It does a pretty good job at loosening up the adhesive. I use this on phone batteries, any battery that gives me hell to come out, and I just have to pry too hard. I just go ahead and spray this stuff in there and just let it sit for a little bit, and then it'll just come right out. Like I'll just pry up and just click, and you know, I'll just let it swoosh around there underneath the bottom, and you're gonna see I have this little blue pry tool that I use. It's kind of beat up now, but I had a whole bunch of these. It's got a wide angle here, and it has a little pry spot here. So I like to use this because one time I used the metal tool to pry a battery, and that battery caught on fire. So I never recommend using anything metal on these devices ever again, especially when prying a battery. Don't use a metal tool. Don't use an iSesamo. Don't use a jerry rig tool. Don't use none of those tools. Make sure it's a plastic tool I could pry. And I'll just go ahead and pry up. And that's one. You know, you want to preserve this battery, so you want to be as, you know, gentle as possible. So I'll go ahead and I'll go to the other side and I'll pry it up. See, this one's a little hard. I'll just go ahead, spray some more under there, wait 2 seconds, then finish prying. If you feel it giving resistance, just go ahead and spray. That's it, it'll come up. All right, this stuff works wonders. It's electric contact cleaner. It's used to clean electronic parts, so it will have absolutely no harm in spraying it in here because it's an electronic cleaner. They use this in cars to clean contacts, contact cleaner. You can get this at any local auto parts store. And it works fine. Don't let nobody fool you and say, oh no, it's not gonna work. I can spray it everywhere, I don't care. So you get up under there, you spray it. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, then I'm gonna go ahead and pry up. Get underneath here, spray a little bit. It's almost finished, so it's like, so me holding it sideways is not doing any justice. There we go. All right, we're going up. Once you have enough hand room that you could get underneath, it's okay. It really does nothing to the battery. It just demolishes the adhesive. Just demolishes it. That's it. So it's ready to come up. See, I got my hand under there. That's breaking up the adhesive. And that's it. That's it. It's the easiest way to get the battery out without prying and doing a bunch of crazy stuff. See, it just destroys the adhesive. That's all it does. Adhesive is demolished. That's all it does. So you don't have to worry about damaging the battery or anything of that nature. So that's out. Last pieces to remove is our trackpad. We're gonna go ahead and take that out, and our mic assembly that's sitting over here. I'm gonna take that out. So these parts are gonna be a little hard to remove, so we're gonna go ahead and just, it's a little rubber thing here that's holding it in, just like a little rubber damper. Let me get these screws out for the trackpad. This is a 2015. So this has the good old force touch mechanism. And these require a T4, it seems. So I will go ahead and look for a T4 because the T5 is not fitting. Yes, and it is a T4. Try and keep all your screws and all your parts in one place. That's a rule of thumb that I always follow. That's nice of you. Okay. Just interrupted by Siri, just doing a reinstall. New operating system on the machine. So that's done. So it's just telling me by making Siri talk to me. You don't get that guy's voice anymore. Guys, this is Mac OS. No, you get Siri now. All right, so we almost out with this assembly here. There we go. It dries off pretty quickly once it hits it. Go ahead and wipe this off with some paper. This is just, like I said, it's just this all comes from our CRC cleaner. Dries very quickly. Go ahead and remove these screws now. Remove the trackpad. We can go ahead and get this out one by one, piece by piece. Only thing I do like that these new trackpads don't have to be lined up like the old trackpads. So it's pretty nice how it just sits in and just screw it down and bolt it into place. Now one more screw on the top. Our trackpad should be loose. There we go. Trackpad is now removed. The last piece that we're going to remove is our, I don't even know what this is. I think it's a speaker. I don't know what it is. These things are so micro small. Has 2 capacitors on it. There we go. Came out nice. Yeah, it seemed to be speakers. Yeah, mics. Yep. So that's what a mic is. Look how small a mic could be. So we got everything scrapped out. Everything is out the way. We no longer need this. Move that to the side. And now we could start our complete rebuild of this unit. So now, we're gonna just wipe off the table here a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and rebuild. Oh, wait a minute, does it have it on both sides? It actually had it in there. Okay, so there's nothing for me to remove. That's good. So I didn't have to take the mic out. They left it in there. They were nice enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and start our rebuild. We will start by where we left off. We will put our trackpad assembly back inside here. Drop it into place. You just line up those screws a little bit and you can just screw them down. Really can't go wrong here. So 1 screw. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11, 12 screws. All right, now let's go ahead and put this back into place. There we go. Back to our T4 screwdriver. Probably not even a T4. They seem like a T3 because it barely fits as a T4. Let's try T3. Yep, T3 fits nice and snug. Like, how smaller do we have to get on the screw sizes? Like, geez. Go ahead and screw them all in first before I tighten them. Didn't tighten them yet. Screwing them all down. All right, there we go. need to get a better camera so bad. I don't know, something about my old GoPro. I just get a lot of grains. And at the time, these cameras, I mean, I have enough light in here. Just sucks. Aperture just sucks on these things. During daylight, it's absolutely beautiful and clear, but once you're indoors, forget about it. All right. Next up, we shall install HDMI board. There we go. Get that into place. Where's that one weird screw at? Right here. Go ahead and screw that weird screw in. Go back to our, what is it, T8? Yeah. Back to our T8. Screw that bad boy in. Come on, be nice. All right, there we go. Let's screw that in. Then we have one more screw here. That screw right there is for the fan, so there's no need to interfere with this screw yet. Next thing we could do is I'll install the LCD now. So what seems to have they have done here is they have definitely replaced the keyboard, because I'm gently lifting up on the backlight and the backlight is moving. So seems like they just refurbish these and sell them on the internet. Everybody has to make money. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So we'll go ahead and install the screen assembly right now, because after that we could put in a logic board. The battery can go back in last. It's not a big deal. So we got that screw in there. Let me screw need that one there. Screw in another one. Sorry, it's out of the frame a little bit, but I'm just kind of lining it up before I tighten it down. There we go. I'll put it back in the frame now. And we can go ahead and tighten everything down as far as the LCD is concerned. Go. It's nice. I really need to concentrate on making more videos. So hard to make videos because every 2 minutes you try to make a video, a customer walks through the door. I seem to have a quiet day today, so I'm able to do what I have to do with no disruptions. You have these little tab things that go here. I like to put them back. Do you have to put them back? Nah. We also will be doing giveaways in the future. We want to give away nice stuff. We don't want to give away garbage. So please subscribe to this channel if you can. Be highly appreciated if you guys subscribe. So I'm going to go ahead and put the speakers back in right now, because I'm going to have to connect them to the logic board anyway, so might as well get the speakers settled in. Like I said, it's not a big deal. to put these things right now. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Our logic board. So we'll go ahead and put our logic board back in the unit. Great deal of caution, because like I said, this LCD cable is very, very flaky right now. And I'm trying to save the customer from spending $300 on an LCD right now, where it's like this ridiculously expensive. So make sure all our connections are up before we slide this in. All right. One tab holding us back. In, are we not? Not yet. Are we in? Are we not? There we go. All right. Everything's in nice and neatly. We'll go ahead and start screwing down the logic board now. Should take about 2 seconds. I'm lying, it'll take more than 2 seconds. There we go, long screw goes there. Oh, let me loosen this up. Short screw goes here. All right. Up the rest. What is this? Messing with me again, huh? After everything's all lined up. Still don't want to be aligned. And the keyboard cable under the logic board. Go ahead and connect that right now, since the battery is not in our way. All right, everything seems to be straight now, as it wasn't before. Let's get all our screws in here. Why are you playing games with me now? Just 1, 2, because you're on camera. All right. Just really want to play games. I don't want to play games with screws right now. I want to get the job done. Go ahead and mount these things up. This little screw goes here for the heat sink. Put that there. Antennas. Those antennas make Wi-Fi. Cable that connects the HDMI and all these Wi-Fi and everything from one side to the next. You just want to be a pain in the ass right now, don't you? I know you do. I know. I know you do. Not in properly. Oh, I just trashed this cable. This cable is trashed. Wow, look at that. I'm sure I have one lying around here, but look at that. That's funny it didn't want to go in. That's real funny. I'm going to straighten it and make it go back in now. I'm going to straighten this bad boy up and make it work. I'm going to make it work, guys. Oh, look at that. It's a charm. Because you screw something up doesn't mean you can't fix it. Always try to fix it first. Don't give up. Never give up. Try and fix it first. You'll be surprised. Let me put a screw back here and then I'll fight with that one after I get this LCD connected back. So I'm just going to put this under the microscope real quick because you guys will see what I'm talking about. This LCD connector being trashed. And I'm going to use the scope to put it in. So zoom out a little bit. There we go. Go. Just wanted to make sure that was put in properly, because that's going to be a headache if it's not. Now we'll go ahead and tighten this up. All right. Let's just stick the battery in there real quick. We're not going to glue it down yet. And then we're going to put our connector for the trackpad, which controls everything. Put this back. Yes, I did try that before I replaced the keyboard because I know about those issues with those things. I don't know if it's charged though. Let's see if it's charged. Oh yeah, it's charged to 2015, of course. So, okay. Did a double chime. Go ahead and see if everything is working. Waiting for it to come up with the Apple logo. If you notice, the SSD on this unit is a different type of SSD. It's not really, how should I say? They're using an M.2 SSD with some type of adapter on it. So I guess it works. So, you know, for those of you people who have these units, you can find that adapter too, and you could also use that to upgrade your storage. I wonder if it'll work on my Mac Pro. Interesting. Get like a 2 terabyte. Throw it in there. All right, let's go through the motions and set this up. Picking up Wi-Fi signals, that's great. Skip that for now. I click skipped, I get spinning wheel. So we will wait for it to do whatever it wants to do. Yes, continue. I didn't want to connect. Said no Wi-Fi, you still playing with me. Don't transfer any information. Trackpad seems to be working perfectly. I want to get to the part where I could actually type some words. That is working perfectly. All right, customer name, and I will just make a very generic password here. They can always change that upon their request. Continue. And this Mac is being set up. And there we go. Everything seems to be working fine. I could type. Hit the go button. The search button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Everything works. Caps lock works. All right. There we go. So there we have it. It seems like we have a fixed Mac. I'm gonna shut it down. Just gonna clean it up and stick the battery in. Finish that up. Yeah, like I was saying, you see that adapter piece? They're using some adapter piece with the M.2 hard drive, and it seems to be working fine. So I guess that's something that you guys could take into consideration. And, you know, have that for yourself. Make some more space. I think I'm going to upgrade my Mac Pro and add one of those in there. Get at least, try to find 2 to 4 terabytes of storage without going to OWC. All right, so let's just get some adhesive. Now, I found out the name of the adhesive that they're using on this thing. I didn't buy it yet, but for the batteries. So I have like the sample somewhere in the store. When I find it, I'll let you guys know about it. What the name of the tape is. Let me find some of my old school tape here. And let's get the battery taped in. Make some cuts. Now that we know everything works, everything is good to go. So I'll go ahead and stick some of these tapes in here and just stick it on the battery. Let's do it on the battery. Let's do it different this time. Let's do it on the battery. So let's rebuild tape and put it on the battery. Right. Well, these are the wrinkles. You could just squeeze those out. Put some more tape on. Oh, more tape. Something I'm trying here because I usually stick it in a case but then it never holds properly. So it's instead of sticking it on the case, stick it onto the battery instead and see how it holds up. So this is pretty much an experiment right now to see how well it will hold up. Putting it on the battery itself. You just use something and squeeze those wrinkles out. That's just came from prying up. It's not really a big deal. All right, so we just want to push down snugly, snugly. We want to screw our screws back into the case. So now all we have to do is put the ribbon back, and then we're going to close this puppy up. There we go. Ribbon is now back in place. We shall put our screws in. Screwdriver, I'm bugging. Put all the screws back. All the screws will be going back into place right now for the bottom cover. And then our job is done. There we go, that's the last screw. I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. Please consider subscribing to our channel. Remember, if you can, please donate. We will be using all the proceeds to buy more tech equipment, make the videos a lot nicer, a lot better. Here to serve you guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.